what's up? It's Josh J. I want to welcome you to today's video. I'm going to be going over the idea that you are not your art. So you are not, your art does not run your life. Your art does not own you. You own your art, or you own your craft. I think a lot of this can apply to a lot of different jobs, not only an art. Especially if you're extremely passionate about what you do, this can apply to you. And I know it applied to me a while back, not too long ago. And I thought I would just discuss some of the things, the mindset ideas and the things that I thought of when I kind of went through this book. So I'm actually reading a book called The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. It's a fantastic book. If you haven't already read it, you guys should definitely read it. And yeah, I mean, when you're extremely passionate about what you do, it can tend to consume you, and it can tend to run a lot of your thoughts. And you just need to know that you are in control of your craft. Your craft does not run your life. And it's quite a big thing to do, because it's not even that you're now disregarding that craft. It's just the idea that you know that you're the one who calls the shots. So you're the one who gets to say, like, today I'm going to go in and I'm going to do like X amount of hours. And when I leave, it's not going to consume my thoughts. I'm not going to like beat myself down about not doing like putting too much pressure on yourself. I'm not going to overbear myself either. I'm just going to know that if I give my correct amount of effort, and I've allocated my brain to doing this, and I know that I'm setting goals and setting bars that are definitely achievable, but are still making me grow in my career. That's all that we can do. And when you set kind of these small little iterations and small boundaries, you kind of get to, you'll very much achieve them, and you don't get to a state of burnout. And when you kind of disassociate yourself, who you are, like at your core, like who you are inside, you get to a stage where you realize that you're in control of a lot of the thoughts that are going on, and it's not running, your art career is not running in your mind all the time, because you are more than your art. You are more than your mind. You're a level of awareness, you're a body, you are a consciousness, and you're not only your mind. Your mind is an amazing tool, and it's a fantastic servant, and it's great at pattern recognition, and it's fantastic at solving problems. But the problem is when it became a master and not a servant, when it decided to try and take over, because it's not a great leader. You yourself, who's in there, the person who's watching your mind, that is the person who's the leader. The mind is not the leader. The mind is a great servant, and it's like the most hardworking servant. And it's like the idea that you kind of, when your thoughts are running, when your art career, you think it's running your mind, your thoughts, you kind of, it's like you've given your mind the task of solving this massive problem that is outside of yourself, that is impossible to solve. And the problem with your mind is that you'll tell it what to do and what to solve, and it'll be like, okay, I'm on it, and it'll go and it'll try and solve it, no matter how big the task might be. And just realizing that that's happening whenever there's this idea that you have to be progressing, or you have to be you have to be using your time effectively 24/7 is actually an illusion. And I can confirm that, because going through that type of a mind frame a while back, I can kind of say that going through that, it's not any productive than if you go through things calmly and with more peace, and realizing that you're the one that's in control. Because when you do that, you're not running your mind 24/7. If you think of your mind like almost like a sprinting race, it's like, we want to be able to come in, and we want to use this tool that we've been developing, and the mind that we've been cultivating we want to be able to use it, but we don't want to be burning it 24/7. So if we think of it like a muscle, think of the brain like a muscle. We want to be able to come in, activate it and use it to its full capacity, and then give it a chance to rest. That's really what we want to do. We want to give it a chance to rest, because then we'll be able to come back with more heat, and we'll be able to come back with more knowledge, more stamina, without burning it out. And the best thing to realize is that you are not your art is you are also not your mind. Because when you say you are not your art, a lot of it has to do with just your mental capacity and your mindset towards approaching art and towards the progression of art as well, your own progression of art. You need to know that you are not your art, you're the one who makes the art. And when I realized that, I kind of saw so often that it was consuming my mind like regularly. I was like, wow, this is crazy how much I mean, for me at least, doing art, concept art, and creating art for a living as a profession, that is my dharma, and that is what I do for a living, and I wouldn't want to be doing anything else. I just had to check myself to remember who's in charge. And all of us, we're not one-dimensional beings. We have so many different levels and layers and things that we're really good at. Like, I'm a brother, I'm a son, I'm an artist, I'm a skater, I'm a cook, I'm a lover, I'm all of the above. And they're all equally as important to me, because they all fuel everything that I do and make me into the human that I am right now, make me into the human that I'm busy becoming. And all of them are important, and they're all beautiful, because they all get their time, you know what I mean? And just because you're doing the one doesn't mean you're slacking off on the other. It's not as black and white as that. If anything, you do the one with your whole being. When you do the other one, you've taken that same amount of presentness and in the moment, and not thinking about something else or trying to be somewhere else. You're really just exactly where you are. And that is when you know that it's fueling the other areas of your life. And the moment I did this, I developed into this mindset, I realized, like, wow, I get to like live fully in every moment and still progress in art. I don't need to be 100% progressing every single moment of the time, because I am not my art. I am the one who creates the art. And a lot of this, a lot of the idea of that you are your art is it stems from fear. I mean, all problems that happen, all of them, they all stem from fear. And when we realize this, we kind of can see the pattern coming through, and we can kind of let go of it when we see it happening. A lot of it is about letting go. That's the biggest thing when it comes to realizing that you are not your art. I listened to a lot of philosophy podcasts and just those type of intellectual things. And I listened to this thing that this guy had like made it big from coming from nowhere, and now he's like making a lot of money, and he's like very peaceful, and he's great and whatever, and all these things. And he said like he wants to get to the stage where he loves what he does. He's an entrepreneur and he loves what he does, but he wants to get to the stage where if tomorrow he had to lose it all, he had to lose everything, he would still be peaceful and happy inside. He wouldn't be distraught inside. And he says he wants to get to the point where if he had to lose it all tomorrow, he would just be his same peaceful, happy self. And I was like, that is fantastic. That's the best way to look at it, I think. And to realize that there's so many facets about yourself that are great. And ironically, when you put energy into the facets that are really like important to you at your core, you kind of, as I said, they kind of start to fuel each other, and they start to become part of each other. And it's great when you get into this mind frame. You actually free yourself up a lot as an artist, and you stop grinding your way to try and become some artist that you could actually never become, because you can't actually force it. You kind of have to like let it happen as it naturally would. And when you really understand this mindset, like at its core, it frees you up a lot. And it's like the saying that I always say is like, I am attached to nothing but connected to everything. And I know maybe you've heard it, and it's a lot of these things when you hear, the more you evolve and grow into yourself, the better you hear them, and you hear different layers of the same thing. And I remember hearing that quote like a while ago, and I was like, cool, like whatever. And the more I evolve, the more I grow into it, the more I understand the layers that it has. And it's a great way to kind of view everything, that you have a deep connection to everything, and the things that you are intimately connected to are the things that you should be doing. Those are the things that are your calling. They are the things that will put you on the right path. And the minute I started following this, I started realizing like all these great things start to happen in lots of different avenues, as well as my art career. My art career is my Dharma. And I needed to understand this part, that I am not only my art. My art was a lot more free and a lot better, and I enjoyed it a lot more. And I think it's a good little mindset kind of a exercise to do, and to kind of realize the reason why I like this, the reason why I really like freelancing is because I get to decide my own schedule. I don't want to be told when to do something, how to do it, and like what to do all the time. And I still take a lot of art jobs, but I love managing my own schedule because I get to decide like what I need at the time. And I still come into my studio for 8 or 9 hours a day, and I am giving my everything to my craft. But when I go home, I know that it does not define me. And the next day I can come back full force again, mindset completely clear, ready to operate again. And my art has been better for that, and my speed has gotten better as well. So there are a lot of really great things that come with looking at it this way. And you'll find you'll evolve into a certain type of artist that you never knew you would turn into. And that's the greatest part, when you let yourself evolve this way, and you stop comparing yourself to other people and other artists. You realize like there's so much potential behind what you can give, and you'll find the people that need you the most and the jobs that need you the most, and you'll take them and they'll be fulfilling and the projects will be fantastic. And this is how you know you've hit your Dharma. And this is how you know that your art does not control you, because you're the one that's in control. Thank you guys. Thanks for sticking through, and I hope you guys managed to get a whole lot from this. And if you think it's relevant, I feel like it could be relevant to many different spheres, not only for artists. Feel free to share it with your friends, and and if you have any comments, leave it in the comments. Otherwise, hit a subscribe if you like my artwork, and I'll check you guys in the next one. Peace.